Hey, I'm Chris, and today I'm glad to share how TimeOS can streamline your workflow in Notion, managing projects, tracking time, creating invoices, and analyzing backlog metrics. TimeOS combines everything into one tool. Let's start with the basics by creating a new project. I'll call this one Automotive. Fun fact, Kanban boards which Toyota introduced to manage production are now used worldwide. But there's the thing. One critical element is often overlooked in project management: time. If time is money, how can we apply it practically in our daily workflows? Today, we'll explore exactly how TimeOS helps us make the most of our time. Let's jump in and add our first task. I'll name it HMI Design. Time tracking is designed to be simple and intuitive. Drag the task to the In Progress section, and the timer starts automatically. Now we can see our new time property, which helps us track exactly how long we spend on each task. Once we are done, drag the task to the Complete section. Just like that, our task is completed and the time is automatically recorded. Pretty simple. To ensure accurate time tracking, remember to stop your tasks after each work session. Let's say we want to continue the task later. Simply drag it back to In Progress and the timer resumes. If we need to take a break, drag it to the To Do section. It pauses the timer. Then feel free to make a cup of tea. What if we are inside the task and don't have the board view nearby? No worries, TimeOS allows us to track time directly from the task page. As we can see, the status is set to pause. That's because we already paused it in a board view previously. To resume the task, change the status to Start. You'll notice the time property changed to blue, indicating the timer is running. We can also rename individual time sessions to reflect different phases of the task, which can help maintain focus and avoid unnecessary subtasks. Let's name them Sketch and Wireframes. For a session longer than 2 hours, the time will appear yellow. Make a short break at least once per hour during your next session. If the session exceeds 8 hours, the time will turn red, indicating that we probably forgot to stop our task and need to adjust our time manually. When the task is done, switch the status to Stop. Our status has changed to Done and the timer is recorded. Remember, only the pause, start and stop affect time tracking, and other properties we can use as we used to. Now I want to explain why TimeOS prevents parallel time tracking. Imagine we have an active task with time tracking running. If we start another one, we would double our time, which would mess up our analytics and invoices. We definitely don't want this to happen. So by default, the previous timer automatically stops when we start a new task. This ensures we don't double bill clients or overestimate our work time. Now that we know how time tracking works, let's talk about why it is important. Here is a look at my workspace. It is my automotive project, and I can see exactly how much time I spent on it. If I open this project, I can see time I spent on each milestone and task. By reviewing my time spent on similar stages in the past, I can plan and allocate my resources more efficiently. Okay, the next thing I want to show how time behaves with sub-items. If we reveal our task, as we can see time calculated by each subtasks in a stack. This allows us to view the overall picture. This template supports up to 7 sub-items for tasks and for projects as well. However, I recommend to keep your backlog hierarchy simple and clean. We can also disable hierarchy to see the time spent on specific tasks. Also, I use this technique for the progress property. So the parent status includes all hierarchy of the completed subtasks. It might also be a good practice to write down the expected time for planned tasks. For example, I'll allocate 4 hours for this task and then I'll track how many hours I actually spent. This practice will help me dispel some myths about honest and healthy planning. If we are working on a large project and prefer to display the time spent in weeks, we can easily adjust the time format. To do this, simply set the value next to week in the formula to true. By updating this setting, we can now view the project duration in weeks, making it clearer for managing long-term projects. The next powerful feature I want to show you is invoicing. We can keep all our invoices organized within Notion, making it easy to track time and incomes by months. For example, I'll open August 2023. By pressing Load Data, all my time tracking information for this month appears. Here we can see our charts, total and daily time spent, and how many tasks I delivered. In the Included Items section, we can choose the specific tasks or projects we want to include in our invoice. By default, there are no sub-items to keep things simple. Copy the specified items along with their time and paste them into invoice items. Now we can see our prices, which are calculated based on our hourly rate. We can change the rate for each invoice individually. For example, we can set it to 100, and as a result, our total price was raised twice. Now we are set. Change the status to Ready, click on Generate PDF, and our invoice will be prepared for download and delivery to the client. How to set up Pop Invoice integration with this template, watch in the next video. There is one thing you should know to prepare the invoice for history. We need to set the date range for the Load Data button. This will allow us to easily switch between different invoices later by pressing this button. Finally, let's talk about analytics. Notion's Charts feature allows us to track income and visualize our financial growth right inside the workspace. It enables you to make smarter business decisions and keep a healthy work-life balance. And that's a wrap on TimeOS. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and stay tuned for more tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.